Okay, Alex, I have a question for you, and I need you to be completely honest with me.
That sounds dangerous. But go ahead.
Have you ever been in a room, maybe a meeting or a dinner or a class, and someone was talking and talking and talking, and you thought to yourself, this person has no idea what they're talking about?
Every single week of my life.
Right? And then, and this is the part that always gets me, the people who actually knew the most said almost nothing. They just sat there, quietly, listening. And I always wondered, why? Why do the smartest people stay so quiet?
That's actually a really deep question, Emma, because it's not just about being shy.
Exactly. That's what I want to talk about today. Because I think there's something happening inside those quiet people that most of us completely miss.
And honestly, it might change the way you see silence forever.
So if you've ever felt like you talk too much or too little, or if you've ever wondered why the wisest person in the room barely says a word, stay with us, because today's conversation is going to be one you actually think about after it ends.
Welcome back, everyone. You're listening to Learn How to Learn English, the podcast where Emma and I talk about real life, real conversations, and we help you improve your English just by listening. I'm Alex.
And I'm Emma, and I'm so happy you're here today because this topic, honestly, I've been thinking about it for weeks.
Weeks?
Weeks. It started when I was in a work meeting, and there was this guy, super experienced, everyone respected him, and he said maybe 5 words the entire hour. And somehow, those 5 words were more powerful than everything else combined.
That's actually a perfect way to introduce today's topic.
Right? And then I started paying attention in coffee shops, on the subway, at family dinners, and I started noticing this pattern. The people who talked the least often seemed to understand the most.
There's actually a word for this. Well, a few words.
Oh no, Alex is about to get philosophical.
Just a little. Have you ever heard the phrase, still waters run deep?
Oh, yes. What does that mean exactly, though?
It means that calm, quiet people often have a lot going on underneath the surface. Like a river that looks completely calm on top, but underneath, the current is actually very powerful.
Oh, I love that. Still waters run deep. I am definitely not a still water.
No, Emma, you are more like a waterfall.
That is so rude, but also completely fair.
But here's the thing, and this is what I find really interesting. Being quiet isn't the same as being passive, or weak, or uninterested.
Yes, that's exactly it. And I think a lot of people misunderstand quiet people. They think, oh, they're shy, or they have nothing to say, or they don't care.
When actually, the opposite might be true.
So let's get into it. Why do smart people stay quiet?
Okay, so I want to start with something that surprised me when I first learned it. There's actually a difference between two types of thinking, and psychologists talk about this a lot. Some people think out loud, and some people think before they speak.
And I am very much the first type. I think out loud. Like right now.
Yes, we've noticed. And that's completely fine. It's a style. But people who think before they speak, they're usually processing something much deeper before anything comes out.
So by the time they actually say something, it's already been filtered? Like refined?
Exactly. They've already considered different angles, asked themselves, is this true? Is this useful? Does this add something?
That's so interesting because I never do that.
You truly don't.
But wait, is that bad though? Like, is talking a lot actually a bad thing?
Not at all. It's about context. In creative brainstorming, thinking out loud is fantastic. You throw ideas around, you build on each other, you surprise yourself.
That's me every episode of this podcast.
Yes, and it works. But in other situations, like negotiations or conflicts or important decisions, the people who pause first often come out better.
Hmm. Okay, so it's about knowing when to talk and when not to.
Right. And here's a phrase I love. You have two ears and one mouth for a reason.
My grandmother used to say that to me.
Smart grandmother.
She was. She really was. Okay, but here's what I want to know. Is it actually a sign of intelligence? Like, scientifically? Or is this just something wise people say?
So there's actually research on this. Studies on what's called metacognition, which basically means thinking about your own thinking.
Oh, that sounds complicated.
It sounds more complicated than it is. Basically, smart people are very aware of what they don't know, and that awareness makes them more careful about what they say.
Oh, so it's not that they know everything, it's that they know they don't know everything?
Exactly. There's actually a famous idea called the Dunning-Kruger effect. Have you heard of it?
Vaguely, I think.
So, the idea is people who know very little about a topic often feel very confident and talk a lot. But people who know a lot, they start to realize how complex things are, and that makes them more careful.
So basically, the more you know, the more you realize how much you don't know.
Perfectly said.
I feel like this might be a personal attack on me, Alex.
Not at all. Emma, you have something different. You have enthusiasm, and that's incredibly valuable.
Nice save.
I meant it.
Okay. But this actually connects to something I find fascinating. Sometimes when I'm in a conversation and I'm talking a lot, I actually feel less connected to the person. Like the best conversations I've ever had were when both of us were really listening.
That's a beautiful observation. And it actually ties into something called active listening, which is one of the most underrated skills a person can have.
Active listening. Okay, what does that mean exactly?
So, active listening isn't just hearing words, it's paying full attention. It's noticing how someone says something, not just what they say. It's holding back your own response until you've truly understood.
Oh, that's hard. I always want to jump in.
Most people do, but the listeners, the real ones, they make people feel incredibly heard, and people are drawn to that.
Have you ever met someone like that? Someone who just made you feel like you were the only person in the room?
Actually, yes, and I want to tell you a story about exactly that, because I think it's the best way to understand what we're talking about today.
Oh, I love a story. Please, yes.
Okay, so this is a story about a boy named Daniel.
Okay, I'm ready.
Daniel was 17 years old, and by most measures, he was invisible.
What do you mean, invisible?
I mean the kind of invisible that happens in school, where you're not the popular kid, not the troublemaker, not the class clown. You're just there, quiet, steady, a little bit on the outside of every social circle.
Oh, I know that feeling.
He was smart, very smart, but he almost never raised his hand in class. He sat near the window. He listened to everything, and he wrote constantly in a little notebook he kept in his jacket pocket.
What did he write?
Questions mostly. Things he noticed. Things he was wondering about. He had this habit. Whenever someone said something, he would write down not just what they said, but why he thought they said it.
That's actually kind of remarkable for a 17-year-old.
His teachers thought he was distracted. His classmates thought he was antisocial. His own mother once told him, "Daniel, you never talk. Are you okay? Are you sad?" And he said, "Mom, I'm not sad. I'm listening."
Oh, that got me.
Now, in his class, there was a girl named Priya. And Priya was the opposite of Daniel in every visible way. She was bright, confident, always the first to answer, always laughing, always at the center of things.
Okay, I feel like I was Priya.
Maybe. But here's the thing about Priya. Underneath all that confidence, she was carrying something heavy. Her parents were going through a very painful divorce, and she had become an expert at making sure nobody could tell.
Oh no.
She performed happiness like it was a sport, and she was very good at it.
That breaks my heart a little.
One afternoon, their English teacher assigned a group project. And somehow, through a combination of absent students and bad luck, Daniel and Priya ended up as partners.
Okay, I already know where this is going. They fall in love.
Emma, let me tell the story.
Sorry, I'm listening. Active listening.
They met at the school library after class, and Priya, because that was her style, immediately took over. She started talking about the project, the structure, the slides, the timeline. She talked for almost 10 minutes straight.
And Daniel?
Daniel sat across from her, and he listened. He didn't check his phone. He didn't interrupt. He just watched her. And at some point, right in the middle of a sentence about the bibliography, Priya just stopped.
Why?
Because she realized something felt strange. She was used to people nodding and half listening. She was used to being the one who filled the silence. But Daniel wasn't nodding automatically. He was actually looking at her, like he was waiting to understand something.
That's different.
And she felt it, and she didn't know what to do with it. So she said, kind of defensively, "Why aren't you saying anything?"
Oh, that's so real. That's such a real reaction.
And Daniel looked at her calmly and said, "I was waiting to see if you were done, or if there was more."
That is such a good answer.
And Priya laughed. Not a performance laugh, a real one. And then, without planning to, she said something she had never said to anyone at school. She said, "Sorry, I talk a lot when I'm stressed."
There it is.
And Daniel just nodded and said, "What are you stressed about, if you don't mind me asking?"
And she told him?
Not right away. She almost said, "Nothing." She had the word ready. She had used it dozens of times. But something about the way he asked, no agenda, no gossip, no judgment, just genuine curiosity. She found herself saying 3 words she hadn't said out loud to anyone. "My parents are divorcing."
Oh,
And Daniel didn't say, "I'm so sorry." He didn't say, "That's terrible." He didn't immediately try to fix it or offer advice. He just said, "That sounds really hard."
and Daniel didn't say, I'm so sorry. He didn't say, that's terrible. He didn't immediately try to fix it or offer advice. He just said, that sounds really hard.
They worked on the project for 2 hours that afternoon, and they talked, really talked, in a way Priya hadn't with anyone in a long time. Not because Daniel was brilliant or charming or funny, but because he made her feel like what she said mattered.
And she wasn't used to that.
No, she was used to being the entertainer, not the one being listened to. A few weeks later, their teacher asked everyone to write one paragraph about a person who influenced them that semester. Priya wrote about Daniel. She wrote, "He taught me that silence isn't emptiness, it's space. Space for someone else to actually exist."
Okay, I am not crying. I'm not.
It's okay if you are.
I'm not. I'm just. That's really beautiful.
And here's the part I love most. Daniel never knew she wrote that, because it was a private assignment. He just went on being Daniel, quiet, curious, writing in his little notebook.
And they stayed friends?
They stayed good friends for years. And Priya once told him, in college, that conversation in the library was the first time she had told anyone the truth in months.
Alex,
Yeah?
that story just completely changed how I feel about quiet people.
Good. That was the point.
Because I always thought if you're quiet, you're maybe uncomfortable or bored or you don't want to be there. But Daniel wasn't any of those things. He was just fully present.
And that's the rarest gift a person can give someone else.
Okay, so after that beautiful, heart-wrenching story, which I am definitely not still thinking about, can we talk about some practical stuff? Like, what can we actually learn from people like Daniel?
Absolutely. Because I think there are some very specific habits that quiet, thoughtful people have that any of us can learn.
Yes, okay, hit me.
Number one, they're comfortable with silence.
Oh, that's hard.
It is. Most of us feel this almost physical need to fill silence, especially in conversations. There's a little voice that says, "Say something, say something, say something."
Yes, that voice is so loud in my head.
But silence isn't failure. Sometimes silence is just digestion. Your brain is actually processing something important.
I love that. Silence as digestion. Very unromantic way to put it.
Sorry, but it's true. And when you learn to sit in silence, something interesting happens. The other person often says the most important thing right after the quiet moment.
Wait, really?
Think about it. People often save the real thing for after they think the conversation is over.
Oh my gosh, that is so true. Some of my best conversations have started right when I thought we were done talking.
Exactly. So habit number two, they ask questions more than they make statements.
Ooh, say more about that.
Okay, so imagine two people at a dinner party. Person A says, "The economy is in a terrible state right now. Here's what I think." And they go on for 5 minutes.
We all know that person.
Person B says, "What do you think is happening with the economy right now? I'm genuinely curious what you see."
Oh, that's a completely different energy.
Person B learns more, builds more connection, and probably enjoys the evening more.
And seems way more interesting, ironically.
Exactly. There's this saying, to be interesting, be interested.
Ooh, I love that. To be interesting, be interested. That's going on my wall.
Habit number three, and this one is huge. They think before they speak, especially when they're angry or emotional.
Oh, yeah. I'm terrible at this.
Most people are. We feel something strongly and immediately we want to express it. But the smartest communicators I've ever seen, they pause, even just for 2 or 3 seconds.
And in those seconds, what are they doing?
They're asking themselves, is this true? Is this helpful? Is this the right moment?
That's so simple, but it would change so many conversations.
It would change so many relationships.
Okay, can I confess something?
Always.
Sometimes I envy quiet people, like genuinely envy them, because I feel like my thoughts just come straight out of my mouth before I've even had a chance to think them. And sometimes I say things and I immediately regret it and I can't take it back.
That's actually one of the most honest things you've said on this podcast.
Yeah, because it's something I'm working on.
And you know what? That self-awareness, that's the beginning of everything. Because the first step to becoming a better communicator isn't learning to talk better. It's learning to notice yourself.
Notice yourself. I like that.
There's a beautiful phrase for this. Between stimulus and response, there is a space. Stimulus means something that happens. Someone says something to you, something upsets you. And response means what you do next. And in that space, in that tiny gap, there is actually a choice.
And quiet people have learned to live in that space.
Yes. And the good news is that space can be trained. It can be grown.
So you're saying even a waterfall can learn to slow down?
A waterfall can absolutely learn to slow down.
Okay, I feel genuinely hopeful right now.
Good. That's exactly how you should feel.
Can we also talk about one more thing? Because this has been on my mind. Sometimes being quiet is actually seen as a negative thing. Like in certain cultures or certain workplaces, if you're quiet, people assume you have nothing to contribute.
That's such an important point. And honestly, it's a bias that a lot of systems have. School, work, even social groups, where the loudest voice is assumed to be the smartest.
Which is just not true.
Not always true. And it's something that a lot of people, especially introverts, struggle with. Because they feel like they have to perform a certain kind of confidence that doesn't come naturally to them.
And the saddest part is, they often do have the best ideas. But by the time they're ready to say something, the conversation has moved on.
So if you're a quiet person listening to this, and I think a lot of you are, I want you to hear this. Your pace is not a weakness. The fact that you think before you speak is not a problem to fix. It's actually one of your greatest strengths.
Yes, that. Exactly that.
Okay, we always love this part of the podcast. Let's look at some of the amazing words and expressions we use today.
And as always, these are words that will actually be useful in real English conversations.
Word number 1. Still waters run deep.
This is an idiom. It means a quiet or calm person often has a lot going on beneath the surface. Example: she doesn't say much at work, but her ideas are always the most original. Still waters run deep.
Number 2. Metacognition.
This means thinking about your own thinking, being aware of how your mind works. Example: practicing metacognition helped him realize he often reacted too quickly in arguments.
Number 3. Active listening.
This isn't just hearing, it's giving full attention, really understanding what someone says and how they feel. Example: her active listening made everyone feel comfortable opening up to her.
Number 4. Stimulus.
Something that causes a reaction. In communication, it's what someone says or does that triggers your response. Example: he learned not to react immediately to every stimulus during a disagreement.
Number 5. To fill the silence.
This phrasal expression means to say something just to avoid a quiet moment, often not because you have something important to say. Example: she was so nervous at the dinner that she kept filling the silence with random stories.
Number 6. Fully present. This means giving your complete attention to the moment, not thinking about the past or future. Example: he put his phone away and was fully present during their conversation.
Number 7. To be interested, as in to be interesting, be interested.
Showing genuine curiosity about other people. Example: the best leaders I know are deeply interested in the people around them.
Number 8. To process.
To take time to understand or think through something, like your mind digesting information. Example: give me a moment. I'm still processing what you just said.
Number 9. On the outside of something.
This means not being included in a group or situation, feeling separate from others. Example: as the new student, she felt on the outside of every social circle for weeks.
And number 10. Between stimulus and response, there is a space.
This is more of a concept, a phrase that reminds us we always have a choice between what happens to us and how we react. Example: she kept reminding herself, between stimulus and response, there is a space. She didn't have to react right away.
These are genuinely some of my favorite expressions from today.
Use them. Try them in a sentence this week. Write them down.
Yes, writing things down is so underrated.
Like Daniel with his notebook.
Like Daniel with his notebook. Okay, question of the day. And this one is personal, so I really want you to answer it.
And remember, answer only in English in the comments. It's great practice.
Here is today's question. Think of a time when staying quiet, or when someone else staying quiet, changed a moment. What happened?
Maybe it was a conversation. Maybe a difficult moment with someone you love. Maybe a meeting or a class.
Share it with us. We really do read the comments, and your stories always surprise us.
If today's episode made you see silence differently, made you think about listening in a new way, then we'd love it if you subscribed to Learn How to Learn English.
Every week, Alex and I have real conversations about real life, and you improve your English just by listening and feeling something.
If this episode helped you, share it with one friend who's learning English. Even one person makes a difference.
And hit like. It helps more people find us, and honestly, it just makes us feel good. We're human. We like it.
We really do.
Before we go, Alex, do you want to share the quote today? Because I think after that story, it needs to be something really beautiful.
I've been thinking about this one. It's not from a famous philosopher, it's just something I believe.
Perfect. Say it.
The loudest voice in the room is not always the wisest, and the quietest voice is not always the smallest. Sometimes, the person who says the least has understood the most and is simply waiting for the right moment to change everything.
I'm going to think about that for a long time.
Good.
I hope you will too. And I hope, wherever you are right now, you give yourself permission to pause a little more, to listen a little more, to trust that your silence isn't emptiness, it's space.
Space for something real to happen.
Beautifully said. See, you should talk more, Alex.
And there she is.
I can't help it. Okay, everyone. Thank you so much for spending this time with us today. This really is our favorite part of the week.
Take care of yourselves and take care of each other.
We'll see you next week. Bye, everyone.
Goodbye.